Mm-hmm. My name's Raghu. My name's Raghu Lokanathan. I'm Raghu Lokanathan. I'm Raghu. I've never said my name that many times in a row before. It makes me wonder if I'm saying it right. I'm Raghu Lokanathan. I'm Raghu Lokanathan. I suppose my earliest experience of music must have been like Hindi film songs when I was a little child in India. The woman fell into a chasm and the guy's father rescued her. And there was some kind of like cross-family saving of lives, and then they came together. AM radio. Is your love, how deep is your love? I really mean to know. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. I still love that song. Rudolph Valentino. Stare at the things tomorrow. That's all I remember of it. Romantic 70s hit. I think that must be what they referred to as a testicular hernia, where one of your testicles doesn't descend completely or something. My bum being painted orange. But I don't know why they would have been painting my bum orange. My grandmother's house in Chennai. I think it was a cobra came out of somewhere and was slithering towards my sister. A person who was a servant came out and hacked it to death with a shovel, enveloped in her sari and kind of falling asleep, standing up. So my mother tongue, it was accordion. It was at the Quebec Conservatory of Music, and my teacher was a fellow named Henry Chudzinski. I learned from the Palmer Hughes series of accordion books. This girl, Isabel, who I was in love with, we did a duet of the beer barrel polka. No, was it beer barrel or clarinet polka? I can't remember. It was either beer barrel polka or clarinet polka, which interestingly enough, I play both those polkas now. Took my parents to see like really fancy accordions that he thought it would be good for me to buy. Big, huge accordion with like a MIDI console on it too. So we stuck with my little Cellini. Nina Caravaggio, a ridiculous level of musical transport. That was accordion. Like songs I wrote?
Yeah.
That would have been my first year of university when I was in University of Toronto. The Scarborough campus, our townhouse unit was M5, I believe. It was called Folk Singers Guitar Guide Volume 2. We got it at Cheap Thrills, downtown Montreal, where my brother used to go to buy LPs. In it, I learned my basic acoustic guitar lick, which I've used relentlessly ever since, which is this. Which has been my standby lick my entire life. I remember writing my first song, sleeping in the basement, lying on the bed in the basement. I remember which way the bed was oriented, single bed with a headboard, with the feet kind of pointing towards the stairs, and I was just lying there, and I thought of my first song. Which was Bourgeois Boy Blues, and they were like, they wanted to hear it again, which was a mystery to me. I didn't know what it was like for anybody to listen to me play. It's not like I thought I was great or anything. Like I like playing, but I was like, these people seem to be into it, and then I'd sit there playing songs for people for hours. It seemed like a pretty nice way to be with people. Really, the first writing entry I remember making, and I'd listen to Dark Side of the Moon in the dark, and I wrote some kind of ecstatic tribute to Dark Side of the Moon. Just started writing a little every day. And how does somebody write songs? What is it for that to be the thing that you do? It didn't seem to me like noble to say, I want to write songs. I hadn't conceived of it as this noble mission. Conceiving it as a noble mission kind of helps, whether it is or not, you know. I felt like there was some other noble mission I needed to find, you know. Writing kind of continued slowly, performed a couple of times. I mean, probably the total number of gigs I had until I was 30 was maybe 5. I played once at the Sugar Bowl Cafe in Toronto. My friend Mike Farley made a poster for that and put a bunch of imaginary quotes around me. One of them was like, I love him, his mom. Then I took the bus from Brandon, Manitoba, out to Prince George. And it was November 2001. I got here kind of mid-morning. Yeah, my brother and sister picked me up from the Greyhound. My sister was visiting from Haida Gwaii, and we went out for breakfast at Ricky's. I remember walking into town the first time. I just know I wanted to walk to town, wherever the towny area of town was. Walk down Massey. Pine Center was on my right. It wasn't apparent to me which way to go. Turn right, and I walked along the highway. It's like, you know, where you turn off to Queensway, down towards the McDonald's. It's like, oh, I looked right on Victoria, and I was like, there's the towny part of town. I had my first of, since then, hundreds, possibly thousands of sitting arounds in coffee shops in Prince George. Yeah. So that was kind of my first couple of days in Prince George. Yeah. Oh, I was kind of deliriously happy. All right, what do you want to do? And I was like, I want to sit around in coffee shops and write. I was fascinated with where it ended up because I knew nothing about this place, nothing at all, except my brother was here. I had the noble mission. I was like, I applied for a job, but you needed a car for the job, and I didn't have a car, so that was the end of my job search. I had a man guitar then. The headstock was cracked. I started playing for the Cinema CNC films, get free films. Then I started to experience all the strange bounties that are available when you play. I think Smithers was the first. I remember the Bills were playing that year. They might have still been called the Bill Hilly Band, and then Kim Barlow, I believe she was there, and I thought she was amazing. Went back and forth along Highway 16 every so often, ended up back in Prince George, odd little gigs I started doing. That's how it started for me here. Writing started feeling like it was going interesting places. Thinking of Bob Snyder, this felt like a big kind of musical moment for me when I lived in Toronto still. Just the first song he played right away just killed me. And it was kind of a new experience because this was just someone in front of me who just lived around, just a person making a song, a song not as some kind of strange, distant object, kind of plain spoken thing that really just packed a punch, just told a really simple story. Language didn't seem kind of affected. It wasn't like he was trying to sound like something he wasn't. That really gave me a vision for songs. Songs as I don't know, like a celebration of the peculiar, that our own peculiar experience is kind of the door we have. I don't even know what this is. I have no idea what it's like to listen to this thing. Am I just crazy? People receive that stuff. It's a really beautiful experience to, not know what it is you're offering a bunch of people, and they receive it. As I started, it was also clear to me that I was really late in the game to be but in a way, I liked being late in the game, you know, like friends I made then who were like, you know, 19, 20, and, you know, like they'd been like thinking about and making art for a long time, you know. Until then, I just felt like it was preposterous to like in the Vegas way associate myself with that notion, you know. The mission appears to them. Yeah, the mission appears to them. I kind of like having been late in the game in a way. You know, it took me a long time to formulate this thing, you know, like I knew so little about anything related to it, you know. I think I remember, you know, when I first got to Prince George, someone using the you know, the term PA system, and I did not know what they were talking about. Like, I didn't. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm only watching a tree. And I'm only watching a guy standing.
What makes that a bad movie?
I'm kind of happy that I began in such complete ignorance. I had relatively few ideas of like what it is I was doing or wanted to do. Writing songs has taught me. But you know, as far as like feeling concerned or worried by what people think, of course that's present. And I you know, like many people, you know, I can feel destroyed by that, you know. Some little thing can kind of send you into a pit. And I've certainly sent myself into the pit a lot of the times. Part of why I do it is because I'm interested in all that stuff. I'm interested in the experience of being there and all that it does to you and all that you think it does to you. One of the things that I love about performance and shows, the way in which they're often a kind of disaster, the way in which they're this ongoing disaster. You know, I think like sometimes I go home and I write down what happened at shows or gigs, and the shambles are really what's the best part of them. You know, like if I you know, if I was like, you know, it was a full room, it was a perfect sound system. I played flawlessly. I knew exactly what I was doing, and then I went home. Like it's the shambles of so much of my musical experience is wonderful. All the terrible PA systems I've played into, all the half-ass sets I've played, all the badly rehearsed material I've presented. I don't know if I'm going in the right direction by enjoying that so much, but in a way I do, to kind of live in this shambles and then be able to look at it and enjoy the ridiculous beauty of it seems like just a great delight. In a way, it's like this constant experience of my own ignorance. I read back through things I've written, and you know, I just cringe at how it's so much bullshit. You know, like it's so much bullshit. Like the language is bullshit. You know, the thing I'm trying to reach in the language is bullshit. I'm writing badly about something that doesn't even matter. You know. But not to frame it all as a horror show, and I feel like I can observe myself sometimes learning from that, you know? Like there's some small kind of bullshit that I've seen and can turn away from or to come across in some way. Make it as plain an enterprise as possible. I'm not sure, I don't know if they experience what I'm talking about as I'm, in the way I'm talking about it. You know, one thing you know, that whole experience, part of what it leads me to think about is like, you know, how accessible are we to ourselves, you know, like, because, you know, as I say, you know, when I was first playing songs for people at university, I don't know what they found enjoyable about hearing me play. I don't. I mean, it's enjoyable to hear a song you like, or watch someone do something, but I still don't know what they experience, and it's a mystery to me. Like I don't know what people are seeing, but I feel like they're seeing something real. What I mean by that is I feel seen by them. Yeah. Even if I don't understand what it is they're seeing.